Jinx for Luger. As I mentioned last time, heading into the draft, one of the biggest things for CLG.
Yep, they get to have the Jinx. Cloud9 decided to ban away the Corki. This was left open last time around. It was the first pick for C9. We saw how very balanced his damage is once he gets a couple of items. So they don't want to be dealing with that any longer. What will be that first pick, though? Ooh, the Lee Sin banned away last time, and this time around, Blaber gets to pilot it.
Very, very happy to do so. I think also one of Contract's best champions right now. He's extremely quick on the Lee Sin plays, so a little bit of a takeaway here on the side of Cloud9, because now you turn it around on Contractz, who, by the way, is also a very good Olaf player, and CLG could try and snowball that way too, because Olaf can brute force plays versus Lee Sin, try and run the jungle camp iteration. It's just that if you play Olaf, you have to keep up that snowballing style the entire time and not let up on the invades, not let up on the jungle camp control. So it does require team focus, and since most of the focus for CLG should be pointing towards bottom lane, I prefer a different pick for jungle.
Okay, Contractz thinking about maybe this could be the answer here. We know Viego has a lot of carry potential there from the jungle, a bit more than a lot of other junglers, and hey, that's going to be the lock-in here for CLG.
Yeah, and we've seen also some of the elusiveness of the champion displayed a lot by Closer, getting out of a lot of situations, using the ultimate immunity frames, unstoppable frames to be able to escape, making good use of the mind games of the Black Mist, trying to use it for zoning in addition to the fighting prowess that it gives you with the extra attack speed. No surprise that Poome's able to get the... oh, actually, they don't go for it early on.
Okay.
Now, you can't play Jinx with a litany of different support champions, and you can play
litany. That's a $10 word.
Yeah, you like that one? All right, I'm gonna take my $10 after this game. Thank you very much. You're gonna have to pay up for that one, but you can use it with, obviously harder engaged champions, which they might do now since their top lane, having locked in Gwen, could really benefit from having a Leona on the team to actually start out the fights. While Gwen can do a lot of damage and create a lot of space and very mobile, they don't have a primary engage.
Wow, Viego's win rate so far in lock-in play is terrible, 17%.
We have been seeing in LCK poke Varus. So they did recent buffs, or not even that recent, in preseason, trying to buff Varus's on hit and attack speed build. So I'm very curious to see if Zven is going to go attack speed or poke. I'm assuming poke right now. Gwen is annoying for both of the builds.
Of course,
because W is...
Gwen is immune.
He's equally annoying for both of them, but I would assume it would be poke build for Zven for Varus, and then getting some more long range for Fudge. If you follow the previous strategies that Cloud9 has gone for. So yeah, I assume this is going to be the LCK return of poke Varus down there in answering this Jinx bottom lane.
Now, we don't have mirrored drafts so far. It's bot lane plus jungle for the side of Cloud9 versus AD carry jungle and top laner for the side of CLG. Lulu's been banned away, Akali's been banned away. Victor is still on the table. Corki has been banned out. Neither side has their mid laner yet. So I'm curious, is CLG going to ban the Victor out, or do they think that they're fine playing into that without something on the same tier? Cloud9 still got one more band to work with themselves. When you're looking back over at CLG, when you were talking about like the Jenkins champion pool, like they're able to ban away some of that pool themselves because they already secured him one of those picks in the Gwen, so the Akali's out of there. Nautilus also taken off the table. They don't want to have that powerful engage opportunity there from the side of CLG in the support role. CLG got one band left. Is it going to be Victor, or is it going to be something else?
I feel like you should throw the Victor towards Cloud9, simply because it's Fudge. And there you go, there it is, because he has not had a lot of time in mid lane to diversify that champion pool. And guess what? What do you pour your time into when you're practicing? It's the peak of the meta, the Corki, the Victor. So actually forcing something different out of him is going to be fun. Last time this happened, he pulled a semi-top lane champion in the Jace, so very well could be something like that too.
All right, we're hovering over a bunch of different stuff. Stop clowning around now, C9. What's it going to be?
Stop on the hover of Gangplank for the BM.
But it's Akshan. All right.
Now that is the one I'm super excited to see Fudge play. Assuming it is going to be mid, could very well be top as well. And could be going into the hands of Darshan. I know Darshan is in love with the champion as well. So, but I'm hoping that it is Fudge in mid lane, because this would give us some really good extra data on Fudge's mid lane, diversity of types of champions to play. Because Akshan plays very differently, roams so much more than the other mid lane farming, scaling, wave clearing stuff that he has shown previously. And with Akshan, you have just so many options because you have the safety of that E, which covers so much distance and a lot of gank approaches from different junglers or supports. And because you have the extra mobility of going up and down river, this is going to be a full display of mid lane talent package if it goes into the mid lane. Meanwhile, it's already been answered here. Quick pickup. I love Vex.
Oh yeah.
It's so easy to pick up this champion, and also very good in this situation. Also charges up passive quite quickly. When Akshan does get those resets, gives you another form of the engage. We mentioned the engage, and CLG shore up their engage and tenfold with a Rakan Vex. Late 2 picks there. Super good. Long range opportunities for them to force fights.
Okay, and with Orianna locked in as the
lane.
final pick here for Cloud9, that does mean it'll be Darshan piloting the Akshan there in the top side. I have seen so many early kills in laning phase on this champion just in solo queue games and like watching challenger matches and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see if Darshan's able to find those pop-offs here early on, see if his opponent underestimates him a little bit here, because it's going to be exciting, man.
It certainly is. And I know, too, that this is one of the champs that he has put a lot of time into in watching some of his solo queue games. So definitely excited to see him wield it, as every time he's gotten a tank, he has absolutely demolished the game. He absolutely kicked Jenkins out of the last game for like 20 minutes by smashing it so hard, with the help of Blaber and Fudge, admittedly, but also through a lot of solo play. So now he's earned himself the right to have a carry champion.
Exactly.
They're like, amazing tank playing, sir. Now what would you like to pick? You've eaten your vegetables.
He's done the time, and now he gets to do the crime of playing the carry in the top lane and trying to make his opponent's life miserable. Remember, it was Cloud9 who won the first game. It's only best of 3s here in the quarterfinals. Yeah. So if Cloud9 takes this one, our series is done. However, CLG can try to keep it going here. You can see them all rushing out of the base now, grouped up as 5. Might be looking for something cheeky here in the top side, expecting Darshan to go for a brush play.
Let's see if they find Darshan. Very safe positioning here at the very back of the brush, so I like that. Should give him plenty of time. Does scout it out. That means you need to see movement from the response there. He only saw Jenkins, though, so that was one champion, and it's the top lane champion. If he had stayed any more and seen one of the other ones, if he had seen Contractz or Palafox, then you would probably see the response from bottom side of the map where Orianna and Varus move together to try and get the counter ward towards Raptors or towards Red. Only getting vision of one, though. You're not safe enough to do that. It could just be Jenkins fishing around, so they don't really know how much of a commitment CLG had up there. And it's a good retake of their red quadrant as well here, grouping up together, not taking any of those unnecessary risks.
Well, one thing I do want to point out here, Hail of Blades on the Varus here for the Keystone, because you were talking about differences in Varus builds and what he might be going here. Also worth pointing out that Luger did go cleanse out of respect for Isles, but Zven still sticking with the heal, not going to have that CC not immunity, cure, whatever you want to call it.
Cleanse.
Yeah, there it is. That's the word I was going after.
Which is the name of the summer spell, so it's a little... Anyways, the build I was talking about for Varus is the lethality build that we saw Teddy play last night in LCK. And, getting the early lethality plus the Muramana is the return of the poke build, basically. And it is Hail of Blades, because you're getting so much lane prowess there, and you're building so much flat damage that it has a lot of value for burst opportunities. You can also stack up the passives to be able to pop the passive for big amounts of burst damage very quickly with the Hail of Blades.
And also, Isles running the Glacial Augment here on the Thresh. We've been seeing this become more and more popular recently among a couple of different ports. Level 2's already been found, though. Let's see what it's going to mean. Isles has to flash away, but the flash after is there. And CLG finds a 2v2 first blood. Zven tries to escape. He's still got his flash ready. Sidesteps away. Oh, almost walked right back into the zap, but he'll stay alive. Flash intact.
Powder's mad. Did not like losing that first game. Even with strong play from bottom side, had to suffer an L. So Poome and Luger get right back to business as usual. This bottom lane, we've mentioned every single CLG game, Clayton, but they continually look for 2v2 aggressive opportunities, and especially early on. While pre-3 minutes, expecting the gank path heading up towards top side, it was a reverse there for Blaber back towards top side, back through the Raptors, up to the top side Crab. Here is the Rocket, flip the switch replay. Poome flipping the switch immediately onto Isles. Look at that, the timing there. He walks so close. When you get that close on Rakan, pretty hard for Isles to react with the flay, and so Poome just pulls the trigger there. He flips the switch. He goes in for the short W. Doesn't get interrupted. Isles a little bit slow, a little bit late, but it's really hard at that range again to pull off a flay. And they get the engage. They're rewarded with the kill. First blood onto Luger, who has really become the one that all of the CLG fans have started to rely on and put so much of their hopes in these games on. Contractz.
Oh boy. Zven still has his flash to try to get away here. He's pulled to safety, doesn't even have to use it. Nice escape. Isle's gonna even find Contractz there with a death sentence at the end to grab some extra damage on him, and Cloud9 evade that one nicely.
Yeah, nice evasive maneuvers there from C9. No extra summoner spells need be used. Again, they still have the flash on Zven, blasting for some extra bit of safety.
And there you can see that incredibly effective Akshan trading pattern. Also something that I want to point out, this is something that's pretty unique to Akshan compared to most champions in League of Legends. When they had him selected in the bottom left, I'll get back to it here in a moment, as CLG are going for the 4-man play against the 3-man squad on Cloud9. Blaber smites the Gromp, flashes away, but he flashes too late! You had to flash out of the way of the start of it, and that's another kill over to CLG. Luger chasing after Isles. Luger draws tower aggro, so not quite the best there. Sets up Zven for the kill, and now they're going to look to see if they can find any more, but there is nothing to find. 1-for-1 trade here, bottom side.
Oopsie whoopsie there for Luger. That was some AD carry greed, trying to beat up on the old support under the tower, walks too close, takes the tower shot, and is punished by Zven. That flash came in handy, Flowers. He gets the distance. He's able to finish it off with the Q snipe. And there's the beginnings of the Muramana build we talked about from him, already purchased. Great attack here onto Blaber, though, to start it out for CLG. Contractz getting in there, Poome and Luger opening up the space, but he walks back in. And again, he actually walked through the distance that tower aggro will drop, but the travel time of the Rocket he didn't account for, and the Rocket then lands as he's stepping back into the range from the tower. So mismanagement there, not accounting for when the actual impact of the Rocket hits. The tower finally registers, softens him up. Zven knocks him down.
Now, what I was going to talk about beforehand, because looking at Akshan, who's a champion we haven't got to see a lot of in pro play yet, in League of Legends, you almost always want at least 1 point in all of your abilities immediately. But Akshan's a bit of an exception to that. Yeah. You can see here, he's got 3 points in Q, 2 points in E, nothing in W. W doesn't do a lot for you early on, so players prefer to have just the extra all-in power of that additional point in the E instead.
Exactly, and it's even common in mid lane, where mid lane you would think, oh, he's going to be able to roam way more because you can go bottom also. But they also do it in mid lane, so don't get your W point until much later. It makes tremendous sense for top lane too, because you don't even have...
Where are you even gonna go?
Exactly, where are you going?
Your teleport, even if you take one, is locked until 14. He's got Ignite anyway. All right, CLG's going in again. I like how aggressive they're playing this game around this bottom side after getting that advantage early on.
Yeah, I mean, CLG, I feel like they're retaining the learnings from game number 1. Right, top lane, we cut that one off. We're completely ignoring it, as should be. They're focusing on this bottom lane. Palafox is getting in on it too. Not only do they steal away, but they hand off the blue buff to the Vex for mid lane for constant pressure. And the biggest reward for them is all of this extra vision that they have here through this blue side and down towards the bottom lane. Vex, as we set up from Champ Select, is so potent when you have these early game skirmishes. Because of the range of the ultimate, you can join a lot of these plays from such a long distance, two-thirds of the way down river, be able to join and join with a big impact of instant CC. Orianna has no such instant impact, has a much harder time answering Vex roams. and is looking to scale up there for Fudge for mid lane.
Oh, nice little catch there on Zven, who barely survives with the heal. He will get away, man, but CLG's bottom lane is looking beastly here in this game.
They certainly are. Definitely love to see the aggressive look still firing away. Poome actually flashing to try and finish it off. Burns the cooldown, not able to get in range for the kill, so extra summer spell is given over despite the fact that it was a well-won trade. That doesn't mean that Zven can hold on to that and be happy, because he's getting pushed off waves constantly, dropping in CS here, regardless of how cheap some of the lethality items are, and trying to build this lethality poke build. Muramana Parch, trying to stack up your tier early on. It's definitely going to be felt. Shockwave combo.
Whoop! CLG barely getting the support away. Fudge goes in, and Fudge gets the kill. But now the comeback is a-coming. Isles tries to pull Fudge away to safety, and he does just that. Palafox and Luger cannot get one back, and C9 ties up the kill.
Good escape there for Cloud9 after securing the kill. Flash forward from Fudge. Shockwave also landed out of the kick from Blaber. So well-coordinated jungle mid synergy here. Scaling up there on the Orianna, plus being able to get that first kill feels quite nice for him. Teleports right back to lane. Yes, during that whole time, the objective was under attack by CLG, and Contractz also walks away with the Rift Herald though, so CLG still pretty happy about the opportunities they have to snowball this game. Push it forward, get some extra gold with that Rift Herald. The prize on the other side is countered by Cloud9. They'll happily at least pick up the dragon. It's just dragon number 1 though, and pretty much everybody will take the early trades of topside Rift Herald. You have to keep your eye on it though as far as the stacking. I think CLG feel confident with the way that their bottom lane has been playing though. Luger and Poome, constant pressure, and should be able to secure themselves some control for ensuring that C9 dragon stacking doesn't get out of control super early on.
And one thing that's worth pointing out, because this first Drake was taken after 9 minutes, it means the second Drake will not spawn until after the teleports are unleashed. And the more important thing about that is that Darshan is running Ignite here in the top lane. So there is a teleport advantage for the side of CLG, which could end up being greatly in their favor for these Nets Dragon fights, depending on the timings and whether or not that cooldown is available. Contractz summons up the Rift Herald here in the bottom lane. This turret is likely just going to fall completely here. Rift Herald almost has enough damage to get rid of it right now. There we go. Zven is not getting away. He's stuck around too damn long.
Oh, and the lantern in front of him and gets snared up. Then Contractz goes right over it, follows it with the stun. CLG, focus on bot. Never again will they deter. Keep pumping as much money as you possibly can into Luger Poome. They're creating opportunities. Contractz goes to play off this lane really well. And the best case scenario, they get 2 towers out of it. Jenkins, though.
Jenkins is not... Oh, they missed the Sonic Wave, but it don't even matter. Fudge takes the kill. Jenkins goes down, and now Cloud9 at least gets something back, but it's a very nice lead here early on. Over 2,000 gold ahead for CLG just 11 minutes in, Kobe.
Bobby, my boy, this is... the entire rest of the map is not in your control. Everybody else had exited the map or was showing bottom, and he gets picked off there on the control wards of Cloud9. So another rough one for him. However, this time around, the rest of the squad is dominating and creating this 2,000 gold lead in the favor of specifically Luger down there. 1,000 gold ahead on the Jinx, and will transition very nicely into these mid-game fights, especially since Poome has been very quick with his engages. Darshan actually under some fire.
Oh, stepping out of the way of the zap there that might have been able to claim his life. Fell down to nearly just 100 HP. CLG again trying to play aggro around Luger. They know this is the advantage. They know this is the point of
I like it. I like that. He's transcended.
Yeah. He gets the title.
The Luger is in the top lane, so it's fitting.
Yeah. Well, we got ourselves the Luger pushing towards that turret here for the second time, going after more of that plate money. They still got 1.5 minutes left of these to farm up as much money as they can.
It's cool. It sounds like some sort of artillery, that you would have in Civilization or something you would build. He's got a fully operational Luger up in top lane, taking down the tower plates, earning the extra gold.
Well, I mean, it is a gun.
CLG working away.
So anyway, let's see what we got going on here, if they can take the rest of this turret down. Luger wants to put as much damage into it as he can, but Darshan was hanging out the entire time. He tries to get himself away, and he avoids the ulti coming out from Poome. CLG will regroup around their carry, and they're just fine.
All right.
Here,
I learned.
I pulled up a picture of a Luger.
I'm looking. The reason I'm pausing is I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah.
That picture reminds me of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's like an Indiana Jones, like early 1900s type of guy. It's not a big artillery thing.
Yeah.
But this Luger might be a big artillery thing by the end of the game. He keeps scaling up.
It's going to be shortly. That's for sure. All right, Jenkins though. See if he does have teleport. It's not unleashed yet, but he's gonna have to try and survive the onslaught of Akshan here. Darshan working away. Even though Darshan is a level down, still able to scare him off. There's 55 seconds left on that dragon fight. And your premise that you set up earlier, as far as teleport versus no teleport on Darshan, has already been subverted by Cloud9. They sent Fudge up to the top side of the map. Instead, rotated Darshan down to bottom. So they're accounting for the discrepancy in summoner spells. The preparation here for Cloud9 would lead you to believe that they actually do want to be in position to answer that play.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing from CLG because their gold lead is now 500 higher than the last time that I read it out. They were at 2.3K ahead. Now they're at 2.8. This team is continuing to build up some leads. They're continuing to put those leads on the right characters. Palafox, they're getting the gold from taking down that next turret there in the top lane. We've got 10 seconds until our second Drake spawns, and you can see everybody heading down around that south side river.
There's the teleport from the top side. Orianna, Fudge finishes up the last wave, teleports in time for the dragon setup. They do have the early move through the river and are able to get the pixel ward down before the fight starts. That's imperative as far as the setup here to allow time. Again, Zven needs to land poke for Cloud9 to have a good shot at this. They go in for the seal though. Lee Sin can have the execute, and
Jenkins is on the flank. He's coming in, but a beautiful engage from Poome with a follow-up Super Mega Death Rocket, but it is Poome to die first, and he's the only one dead thus far. The Drake still aggroed by the side of Cloud9. Contractz going in, but the Dragon goes over to C9 and Blaber. Contractz can get out, but the fight favors Cloud9 despite the engage from CLG.
Yeah, the biggest weakness of Rakan is death. Getting blown up.
No way!
Very squishy champion. So some champions don't have that weakness. You know, Karthus, Kog'Maw.
Yeah, you gotta really die to use the whole
Sion is probably the biggest offender. But Rakan, yeah, you're like, oh my god, look at this engage from Poome. He gets 4 people, and he's dead. So much burst damage just gets popped, blown off the map immediately, allowing for Cloud9 to actually get the rewards of transitioning over for this dragon. And I was a little skeptical as far as investing the teleport and everybody coming over, but again, let's look at how he received so much burst damage. Jenkins starts it out with the flank. There it is. The E engage actually got rooted up early, so it was delayed. The Varus ultimate had chained to him.
Oh no.
So it was engaged, and now Jenkins, we're back out to live, and Jenkins back in the dirt.
C9 is just eating Jenkins burgers breakfast, lunch, and dinner this series.
We thought game 1 it was going to be the end of it, and it was going to be a clean slate here, fresh start for him, but it is rough. At least he has more gold than the supports this time around.
And hey, Luger is still 1,000 gold ahead of the next closest person, which is the enemy mid lane carry in Fudge. So they still have a big win condition here in this Jinx. Contractz is going to find Blaber. Viego is an incredible duelist, so the Lee Sin wants nothing to do with that, and they have to back away.
Certainly a fearsome opportunity for CLG as they have everybody around mid lane as well ready to capitalize. Even though Jenkins goes down, they're still going to be able to get this Rift Herald trade for bottom turret. Bottom obviously left exposed because Jenkins, the side laner, is picked off, and Fudge is the one who reaps the rewards. Full tower gold for him, able to get the solo gold on that outer turret picked up into the Orianna pockets. And Fudge he's really adapted to this mid lane more scaling style on all these picks. The Victor, the Corki, now the Orianna for himself. Mid lane's got to play, and Zven is chunked out, but Miles is there to get him out of trouble and evade the Palafox engage. It was off camera, but I'm assuming with the flash and ultimate both burned here from Palafox, was trying to pull off that kill in response to the extra distance there from the Thresh that they saw through the river. Not quite able to get it in time though. Some pretty big cooldowns used. The flash of Vex is really big for these mid-game fights. The ultimate though, not so much. That one comes up really quickly.
Right. And it is another Infernal Rift game. Cloud9 with those first two means that CLG is going to have to stop those Drake stacks here soon. However, with a gold lead, still having around that plus 2,000 mark, they will be in a decent enough spot to fight their opponents in open ground. It's not like the previous game where they wanted nothing to do with the fights.
Yeah, I also need to see something cool from the Akshan pretty soon here, I feel like.
Okay.
Because Darshan did have control of top side, you know, got his own CS lead, constantly had the push there, but since then has not had a huge impact on the game, is scaling up, has, I believe, 2 item power spike right now with the safety of a shield bow, so is scaling into that roaming and side laning monster that Cloud9 do need from him, but it's really hard to outscale a Gwen.
Yeah.
Plus, Gwen has some really strong team fighting opportunities for being frontline, whereas Akshan, you have to play the fight a lot more.
Oh, CLG's going in, and they got a lot of damage on C9, but no kills just yet. Isles is going to be the first to die.
Jenkins!
Goes underneath the turret, and Jenkins finds 2 3-for-1 trade. CLG.
All right, this one, they got to blow it wide open. CLG able to find the pick in the jungle, and Jenkins right through the tower. The Gwen picking up 2 in the aftermath. Perfect needlework right through both of them. Able to get some money onto him, and he is going to scale into a monster. This is after he already has Riftmaker. He's going to slingshot right ahead. It is enough time for C9 to try and respond for the Dragons. Again, the Dragons stacking is kind of their out for this game. But here's another look at them trying to go into Fog of War. Poome gets hooked in this time, but it doesn't matter. The double engage of a Vex and a Rakan. So much burst damage there. Luger's ultimate finding the 2, softening them up so that Jenkins can get both of them. The range of the needlework with the Q on the front line there too. Snip, snip, finds the extra 2 kills. Here's the reset we were looking for, though.
Look at that damage.
Goose egg, and we wanted to see big things from the Akshan. That was not big things.
Nope.
Was not there.
And we got 2,500 damage from the Vex in the previous fight. Now, of course, this is going to be the 3rd Drake of the game for Cloud9, so they now pose the threat of Soul for every subsequent Dragon. That next fight will be happening just after the 25-minute mark. CLG still has their 3,000 gold lead. They're still feeling good about their ability to make things happen. They've got the Gale Force plus Rapid Fire Cannon here on the Jinx. Once Luger gets that 3rd item, once that Infinity Edge is online, then C9's really sweating.
And just the range of their engage, we keep hammering it home. All these Cloud9 members are so squishy. When you are wielding Vex Rakan, some of the longest range and quickest engage opportunities that exist in League of Legends today, it's basically just set up your picks. As long as you have some Fog of War to work with, you have a very high percentage chance of grabbing someone. And then you just have to worry about the burst damage in return and getting blown up in response. Blaber, if he gets the kickoff quickly, can put a big stop to it, and Fudge has been pretty quick on the shockwaves as well. Remember the previous time around Dragon where Poome gets 100-0.
Okay, Cloud9. Grouped up as 5 right now. Of course, it only looks like they're grouped up as 4. Darshan creeping around here, camouflaged near the terrain. Remember, it lasts indefinitely as long as he doesn't leave that nice use of the immunity frame from Contractz.
Look at this route from Jenkins. He's got a clear route up towards mid lane, so Cloud9 realized they do not have enough warding for their flanks, retreating after that attempt. Zven and Fudge both have their flashes though, so at least the carries have the extra summoner spell to avoid getting reset on. The Doomsday scenario where Jenkins flanks you, then you also have the engage of Palafox Poome coming up the middle and resets for both Jinx and Viego.
Monk W.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as you realize, oh, we don't have our perfectly warded flanks, you have to call it off because there's so many angles that CLG can come at you from, and one mistake does mean tremendous rewards for CLG. 3 minutes left on the Dragon Soul fight, and that is going to be the hopes and dreams of Cloud9. Getting to that point without giving up too much territory so that they would be able to try and cash in, basically.
Exactly. It's a huge power spike to grab that soul for them. It puts them back in a really close contest there with CLG, where CLG just feels like they are definitely the ones deciding things right now. Cloud9 very much in reaction mode. You got the stopwatch up and running here for Fudge, so he's got some outplay potential with that one. Again, a good opportunity to stop some of those resets that you're talking about. Sorelda's Grudge completed on the Varus. You've also got him almost up to the point of the fully charged Muramana, but still not quite there. That is one of the problems for Varus compared to some of the other tier stackers, is he stacks it more slowly because he doesn't have a spammable spell. So that one's going to take a little bit more time to come online, but should definitely be there in time for the Drake fight.
Yeah, that's a really big power spike. Looking for 360 stacks on it. Does have plenty of DPS ready to go once that one transforms. Look at the harder job though. The fight over the vision. They've got Lantern to work with. They have Orianna Ball to work with. They need to poke and prod as cautiously as possible. Because again, no main tank this time around with Darshan playing Akshan. They have to play the vision game.
Contractz walking away. C9 still looking to get whatever damage they can. Yeah, Zven lands a piercing arrow, but again, this Varus is not that far ahead. Oh, nice steal from Contractz. Cheeky there.
A little bit of a flex here as the rest of Cloud9 won't be able to punish anybody, even though you see 3 lanes exposed. CLG doing a good job pushing all 3 lanes.
Yeah, Jenkins is bottom. Nobody else is here.
Yep. Luger just finished up in mid as well, so pressure all 3 lanes, plus taking away the jungle camps. You're checking your boxes here for CLG, leading up to the big moment, Flowers.
Yeah.
Here it is, 1 minute ahead of the objective. You've got to recall, you've got to get your pinks now. This is the timing. It gives you enough time to recall and get back out to fight for positioning for your wards before this dragon gets there.
Okay, we got some pink wards on the side of Cloud9, pink wards on the side of CLG. Cosmic Drive done for the Gwen. There's your 2-item power spike. You've also got the Storm Razor completed on Darshan, so that means he's got 2 items here as well. Top laners round about the same spot. Big difference in junglers, however, as Contractz has his Sterix completed and Blaber does not. That shield is often the difference between life and death for these junglers when they go in. So Blaber has his work cut out for him here. No stopwatch on that Lee Sin either. Darshan creeping around the side here. He's going to see Poome.
Should go.
Doesn't go after him. Thinks maybe somebody else is there. Does not want to end up inting it away. Knows that this soul is very important.
Notice that CLG do a good job pushing that mid wave first as well to gain entrance. Top, mid, bottom, all pushing for CLG, preempting this objective spawn, giving them great positioning and flank.
Here we go. Poome with a 3-man knockup, and the follow-up is there this time. Cloud9, your fight is already over. CLG slam them 3-0.
And it's a white Flowers, all the build up for this. CLG are gonna fight back in this one. They defy the soul points. They wipe Cloud9 off the map. They can turn their sights towards Baron, but they want to chase down Blaber first, get that jungler off of the map. If they take him down with the delayed respawn timer compared to the rest of his team.
Oh, Blaber, that was an int, brother. That's not a good look. Darshan seeing if there's anything to salvage from this. He's going rogue. He's looking for the opportunity. He finds 2 of them, but that's 1 too many. The heroic swing comes out and he gets the first kill. Shutdown goes through, but he can't quite take down Jenkins as well. 1-for-1 trade, while the rest of CLG will take Baron.
Would have been pretty sick if you pulled off the 2v1 there. Those are the highlights we want to see from an Akshan game, but he expected to only find a single member, and it's still going to be Baron buff on 4 members. Palafox won't receive his because of the 1v2 opportunity, and he goes down, but the rest of the team wearing purple should be enough for CLG to finish up these inner turrets. They should be able to crack some of these inhibitors, and look at it. Again, as we talk, all the pushing for CLG, every single side lane. Poome had already been hovering around bottom. They go straight up the middle. You have lightning fast engagements. Vex plus Rakan, quickest in the game right now. Just easily switch there for CLG. And what a turnaround from game number 1.
Yeah.
Jenkins fully scaled here on the Gwen, picking up the kills. He is a monster in the side lanes now with the Gwen. All you need is a Rift Maker plus Cosmic Drive. You can chase anyone down, chop them up, but also with the safety and the playmaking of the stopwatch and Zhonya's coming in here, should be effortless for CLG with this Baron buff to 4-1 and crack inside the extra turrets.
Yeah, they've got a 7,000 gold lead. Baron for the next 2 minutes. It's CLG's game to lose. Cloud9 has to find some way to dig in and defend here. CLG only has one tier 2 turret left to take. Poome has already popped the quickness, and he goes in looking for Fudge. Immediately gets the stasis out of the Cloud9 mid laner. Fudge survives, but the tier 2 will not. CLG's gonna build that lead even further, taking down that structure, and they got their eyes set on the base.
Plenty of time to work with as well. 3 more minion waves worth of Baron buff. Jenkins goes down mid lane. He's looking to usher this one up. The waves are desynced pretty heavily. If he had waited a little bit and let that wave actually just sit there and have the minions move up, looks like if he's able to clear out this one, they could try and time them accordingly to crash on top and crash in mid. But because Zven clears out the mid one, it's just going to be a single arm of pressure. That's enough for Luger to get a couple of rockets on the turret, though, knocking that one down to half, and then Jenkins will slip right in to do the same.
Jenkins just chopping away at that turret, has it down to just over half HP. Baron still on for another 50 seconds. Cannon minions, 2 of them piled up here in mid. Isle's just gonna flay them back so they can kill those things a little bit faster. CLG has no intentions of leaving all the way, though. They're just waiting for the minion waves to push up here. Contractz sitting around in the mist, seeing if somebody will walk too close. But Cloud9's playing it safe.
And I like it. This is the syncing that we're talking about, because the mid lane goes straight up, a shorter distance travel goes there quicker, and so just waiting around to try and sync them up so they crash at the same time, make C9 defend 2 points at once. It's just a slight optimization, so you have more opportunity to hit the towers, and they get both of them.
And now can they get anything else? Contractz, again, using the invulnerability frame there on the ulti to get himself away and make sure he doesn't get picked off. Jenkins continues to pressure the mid lane. CLG playing this really nicely. It'll be over 4,000 gold that they got from their Baron power play by the time it expires. Their overall lead, over 9,000 now.
Yeah, and because of the setup, it's just so difficult for Cloud9 to hang their game plan on anything other than picking off estranged members of CLG. If someone is walking alone by themselves through the jungle, and you're able to get a surprise pick, there's an opportunity. You do have a level 16 Orianna, so Fudge can actually have a pretty big impact with the shockwave if you find someone. Darshan's Akshan already going to be hunting around to try and find those opportunities, but it is a bit difficult for this team. They have plenty of damage, just you have to have perfect setup to be able to make that happen and not give over counter kills. Zven walking through the jungle actually gets zapped, which is a huge chunk. Nice dodge there from Luger. Uses the Gale Force to dodge out on the ultimates.
All right, let's see how quickly CLG can go about ending this game, because it feels like it's just a formality at this point. They do want to make sure they deny this Drake. They don't want to give away that soul. That is one of the only ways Cloud9 could claw their way back into this game. So CLG will patiently force them out and secure the Drake first. But after that, there's 2 exposed inhibitors in the Cloud9 base, and they're all ripe for the CLG take.
Yeah, it's basically blunder insurance. If you make a blunder trying to end the game, you don't want the slingshot comeback to be a possibility there for Cloud9, cashing in on Soul. Regardless, now they've kind of afforded themselves. I would honestly say they could make a blunder and still be in a good position.
Yeah.
Although, obviously, you don't want to make one. Mid lane and top side are open. Should probably be a little bit more cautious and just 4-1. But they are trying to spread to all 3 lanes, and that gives an opportunity for Cloud9.
Oh, here goes Darshan. He tries to find the comeuppance on Luger, but he can't quite get it in time. They will both die together. Luger and Darshan traded as Cloud9 managed to find an extra one on top, taking out Poome. Meanwhile, it's Contractz and Jenkins saying, you can kill our guys, but we're going to kill your base. Mid lane inhibitor's gone. Top lane inhibitor's gone. Huge map pressure advantage here for CLG.
Yeah. I still think, all things said and done, a little bit more caution and maybe doing 4-1 instead of pushing all 3 just towards the exposed inhibitors with the lead that CLG have and the length of the engage they can go for with Poome, with Palafox. They've got such a massive advantage. They can just kind of smash them over the head with it, with all the extra gold. But Cloud9 very happy to get at least the pickoff on bottom side. Yes, it's incredibly difficult to fight a scenario where Baron is back out on the map, and you're missing 2 inhibitors, mid and top, so you constantly have to deal with the homework of clearing out super minions, pushing into your base.
Yep.
But they got a bit of gold, cashing in on those kills on bottom side. And I think it could have been a worse scenario if it just came straight up mid.
Darshan again creeping around here in the jungle, utilizing the power of his camouflage to just try and get whatever extra information he can find. Baron is now back alive. CLG's players died at just the right time. They respawned about 10 seconds before it did, so they're ready to go. And
as Cloud9, why they're kind of happy with getting those 2 kills in exchange for inhibitors is they've got, again, the long-range Varus poke that is now online. So he's 3-item poke Varus, plus the Orianna, fishing around for vision, Darshan constantly sneaking through. And they know they're at a huge disadvantage, but they are sneaking around to try and find those opportunities while the gold will continually march towards them. If they are able to defend long enough for those to respawn and not give up the Baron to CLG, which is going to be a very difficult task.
Oh, Zven! He's in trouble here. Contractz going in for him. Jenkins and Poome coming up right behind as Palafox has found his way into the back line and looks for Fudge. He won't get the reset just yet, but they will find a kill onto Isles instead. Traded 1-for-1 with the CLG support. Zven gets snipped, and he's gone. Cut right away from Summoner's Rift. And it's a CLG fight, 2-for-1. They'll head right back over to Baron.
And critically, the poke, the range damage that can come over the back of Baron Pit is gone. Varus is dead. Fudge is chunked out. He has no flash either to walk back over. So that is a huge win for CLG. Kind of the final step that you have to take. Now with 2 inhibitors plus a Baron buff to bolster your pushing, it is so easy to play the entire 3 lanes, push all the way up to the base, close the loop here on Cloud9, and finish what you started. You have your engage opportunities ready. There are very few defenses that C9 can muster. And apart from them jumping out on the map super early and trying to, pick somebody from CLG who's moving ahead of the rest of the squad, it is going to be the Hail Mary.
It's looking grim for the side of Cloud9 right about now, but CLG has done a wonderful job responding here in game number 2 after the poor game number 1 they had.
Yeah, let's review, because game number 2 is so much cleaner for them. From the very start of the game, Contractz focusing on bottom side. Luger and Poome earn their own advantages, getting their 2v2 kill onto Isles and Zven. And then Contractz visiting down there multiple times to play off this bottom lane and trying to deny some resources and this control of this side of the map from Cloud9. They're able to play off bottom lane, mid constantly roaming there with Palafox on the Vex and threatening. Plus, Jenkins scaled really well this time around, gave up a couple of stray deaths on some map movements, but CLG so much better this time around in game number 2. Very well-deserved position that they're at in this game right now, where you just got to topple it over. 1 tower left before they get right up to the Nexus turrets and march on into the base. Jenkins has those mid minions moving nicely. Super minion heading straight up. Tower's almost gone.
Well, Luger did lose half HP to a single arrow coming out from Zven. They got to be aware of that, but they don't even need to. Blaber is gone, and boom, baby, y'all better run scared, because here comes Vex. CLG, they're going for the throat, they're going for the win, and they're going to game number 3 as they find their revenge. A triple kill. Jinx is no stranger to those, and we're going for the Nexus. See y'all in game 3.
Powder, powder, powder. Luger shows up, the rest of CLG shows up, entire team victory there. Really nice bounce back. It's good to see in a best of series, They did get slammed really hard in game number 1, but strong mental by the entire team, especially Jenkins.
Yup.
After the beating that he received. So we are going to a game number 3, baby. We called it.
We did.
Talking about we're going to be the ones giving you more games today. Get some of those upset wins. Keep them coming.
That's what I like to see, man. We get to go to the 3rd game. Everything else, we were talking about like how a lot of the quarterfinals coming into it, a lot of people were probably expecting a bunch of these to be 2-0s, and we've been able to see some 2-0s thus far. Now, granted, some of those 2-0s were more expected than others.
What's the name on this 2-0?
Yeah, exactly. But hey, we're going to 3. CLG have answered back, and they're keeping those lock-in dreams alive. We're going to toss things over to the State Farm analyst desk to talk